but you won't forget. You've got to find your way through that fog. Through the unknown, there's only one way.
Run.
We're going to talk a little bit about wall training. Let's go.
We're going to go 3 different types of lunges.
Just keep that back flat.
Today we're going to take you through a full body workout. So let's go.
IMG Plus online camps take the world-renowned coaching and training methodology that helps create high-performing athletes here on site in Bradenton, Florida, and makes it accessible online, allowing for athletes to the ease and convenience of training without having to travel. While most online training platforms feature only pre-recorded instruction, IMG Academy Plus camps deliver daily live video sessions and interactions with IMG coaches and personalized analysis of your game. So not only do we provide a proven training plan, we evaluate and provide feedback on your progress so you know what to do and how to continue improving. So first you have to select the week that you would choose to partake in the activity. On Monday, you'll have a live video call with your coach that will give you instruction and explanation for the week's curriculum. Next, you'll receive access to your plan for the week. Now, this is going to be specific training that is tied to sports development as well as your APD curriculum. APD will include performance training in areas like movement, mental training, and athletic regeneration. Throughout the week, you're going to record yourself or have someone record your actions. You'll submit those videos to your coach for full analysis, and then they will be returned each day. The process will continue Monday through Friday, and at the end of the week, you'll have a full training experience that touches on all of the different aspects in that sport and all levels of development. So the coaches that are going to be working with our virtual campers are going to be the same coaches that work with our student athletes, with our campers, and with our pros that train here on site year-round. They're going to use some of the same methodology that has helped IMG Academy student athletes become some of the world's top athletes.
You think you know us? You think you know what we're about?
#1 IMG Academy here in Florida.
You think you know what it takes to succeed here? To focus? To grind?
Here we go.
Every single day? You don't even know the half of it.
Let's go.
This here is a brotherhood. We're talking about a got your back now and forever.
Let it out.
Push you harder than you've ever been pushed kind of brotherhood. It's a brotherhood that recognizes the success that came before us and the expectations for us to maintain it. Because the last thing we'd ever do is disappoint our brothers.
24th pick, Cesar Ruiz. 44th pick, Grant Delpit. 46th pick, KJ Hamler.
Morel breaks the tackle, surging forward, he's in for the touchdown.
We hear what you're saying. The haters, the doubters, the people who throw shots without any idea of the work we put in and the sacrifices we make. But we'll let you in on a little secret. It doesn't matter. You know why? We hold ourselves to a higher standard than anyone could ever set for us. Work harder. Get stronger. Be smarter. Play faster. Dream bigger.
Unreal. IMG dominating.
This one getting a little out of control.
This is a brotherhood. So you think you know us? Well, you're about to find out.
The academic programs at IMG Academy are designed to be complementary to our athletic programs, but our goal is to be admitted and successful at the nation's most select institutions. The competition that's out on the field or on the court turns over into the classroom where students are looking to push themselves. Each year, we generally feature National Merit Scholars, AP Scholars, the Service Academies, the Ivy Leagues, elite academic D3 institutions, and everywhere in between. Ultimately, we want to provide the best fit for each of our student athletes. The academic program has 3 tracks. First and foremost is our college preparatory track. Then we have a full honors track beginning in 8th grade. And then lastly, we have AP courses for our most academically competitive students. Over the last few years, the academic program has grown both in its physical size, as we recently added 30,000 square feet for an increased number of classrooms, a dedicated English as a second language space, 2 hands-on engineering labs, as well as a broadcast TV studio space. We've increased the overall number of faculty to help keep our class sizes down, as well as add depth and breadth to the curriculum by adding new courses each year. At IMG Academy, our goal is to provide the skills and the knowledge to help our student athletes prepare for success at their chosen college or university.
IMG Academy is easily one of the most unique places in the country.
All right, let's go. Let's get to work.
Every college, every university, every major program in the country comes to IMG to recruit these kids.
LSU, Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia's, they're going to come knocking on our door because our kids are ready to play right away, ready to compete.
If you can prove yourself at IMG, you can go on to the next level and be successful.
You're here for a reason, and this place is filled with the best.
You know, as an athlete, they want to get better every day. And these kids come here because of the competition and be the best that they can be.
What I want here is a family culture. The brotherhood is coming closer together. And as a team, if we think as one, we're going to accomplish a lot of our goals.
Welcome to the Bradenton area, where the easy pace of island life comes naturally in this coastal playground with endless white sand beaches, stunning natural preserves, relaxing vibes all around, and it's a seafood lover's paradise. Stay a while to explore downtown Bradenton with top-rated attractions and a friendly community set along the Bradenton Riverwalk. Come lose yourself in the sun-drenched Gulf Coast of Florida and change your reality in the Bradenton area. Learn more at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
Do you really think the greatest of all time just came from nowhere? Of course not. Because everyone starts somewhere, and champions start here. Grown rep by rep, conditioned by pro-level coaches who have earned their stripes. Built in elite camps, training day after day. Drilled until second nature becomes first. Start at IMG Academy.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
You ever have that day? You know, that day, that very moment, you got better. Your better got better. What if that day was every day?
This is your game. You live it, breathe it, dream it. And so do we. We design it, test it, build it, and repeat. This is what you live for. Zenith. Live your game.
IMG goes on the road Saturday to play number 6 Duncanville. So you got a 1 versus 6.
Yeah, I just love the fact that IMG is going back to Texas. You know, you brought up the last time they went there was 2015.
Going into the week of Duncanville week, we called it, kids talked about some downtime for us just to recover and grow as a team. You know, Victory Monday this week consists of taking them to the beach, where the players could just lounge out and start to enjoy each other. We had players play in the ocean. We had guys study on the beach. So it was a great way just to fool around with our guys, get to know them in a different site, and we did a great job with it.
Had a lot of motivation in us going into Duncanville, and just the practice energy was definitely different from the weeks prior. It was an unneeded motivation that was just in us, and we were ready to play. This is a game that I've been excited for. There is no fear, there is no pressure felt when we put in the work that we do and we prepare the way we prepare. We love when everyone's against us, and it adds another chip on our shoulder. Just keep going and prove that we're the best team in the country.
Y'all got an amazing opportunity, man, for real. Like, coming to IMG, man, like, it really changed my life for real. Just my first, week I got there. DeAndre, Tony Jones. I mean, I met Bo before he left. A lot of guys, man, plenty of guys that I still talk to this day. Like, in the Snapchat group chat with Tony and, 3 other guys that I went to school with. It's just like a brotherhood, bro. Like, y'all gonna know y'all teammates through college, through league. Got to Alabama, man, met Bo. Like, me and Bo was like this just because we went to IMG together. Like, that was a connection right there. And then just the IMG connection, like, when I say that, bro, like, tomorrow y'all really got to go out there and play, as brothers, like y'all knew each other since y'all was yay high. Because that's just what it's going to be. If y'all don't do that, bro, this team is going to run through y'all.
Thank you. Having the alum come back and really share their experience about brotherhood, that's the big message that came across. And the other message was that we don't lose in Texas. And our guys really gravitated to his speech, and he really set the bar high for us, and the guys lived it.
Very excited about having an opportunity to play Texas. I mean, we've been down, Greg's been here since a sophomore, and I finally see a Texas team on the schedule is huge.
Very important that the number one thing that we made a deal was that one of us would always come to his game. We're so proud of him, and he worked so hard, and IMG has been the best for us.
For us to be able to go to every game, either one of us or both of us, it's been really, really special. It's great for him to have all of his friends from home. We have a ton of family and friends here that came down from Chicago to support Jay.
Nigel Harris,
continually grow mentally.
Number 74 center, Greg Crippen.
You know, when he does go
number 56 right guard, Ethan Lang. Number 54 right tackle.
Welcome into the high school football game.
First and 10 for Valley State. From their own 45, and they'll run a little wildcat formation and quickly into the backfield. That is Sam Afury, and he will tackle Seth Roll for a loss.
Fury made a nice play. That was a read option that the Eagles were running, and Fury was not fooled at all. He was able to chase down Roll from the backside.
So second and long. Seth Roll played his high school at Monsignor Pace. Listed on the depth chart as a wide receiver and probably now slated to play a little wildcat quarterback. And looks like they may be whistled for a delay of game. That'll bring up 2nd and 17. Roll to his right. He's able to find Leonard Anderson trying to get upfield. He's into IMG territory, and a late flag coming in. Dropped at the 47-yard line, and it's looking like a block in the back is the signal from the side judge.
Roll did a good job just to get that ball off. He had pressure right in his face. He was trying to roll out to his right, and he was able to dump it off there in the flat. Unfortunately, it's going to come back. They've got a block in the back, so it all went for naught on that play, but it was a good effort, and Valley State has made a few solid plays thus far.
And unfortunately for them, though, they'll get to stay at second down but go 2 yards back from the spot foul, so 2nd and 19. Roll sends Anderson in motion. Now the snap of the hand, they'll try to go right up the middle. And again, that stout defensive line of Edward McKee, Roger Goodell, Liam Gombrich, and John Copley. Not going to get a whole lot of yards. At least you're not going to gouge the IMG defense for a whole lot of yards trying to run up the middle on this front four. Third and long for Valley State. Line to gain is the IMG Academy 45. Ball spotted at the 41 of Valley State and the Eagles.
Oh.
And that's going to be a false start, and that will not do any favors for the Valley State Eagles. They'll move back a few yards.
Number 75, Demario Grant, the right tackle, was anticipating the rush there, and he just got started a little bit too early, started to kick back, didn't want to get beat off the edge and give up a sack.
Now the snap, Roll just with the quick throw into the flat, able to find Ezekiel Blake, who's trying to get upfield, and he is swallowed up. After just about a 2-yard gain, it'll bring up 4th and long and a punting situation.
Desmond Ricks reacted to that quick screen well, was able to break through and wrap up the ball carrier there for a very, very short gain. So with 4th and long, you'd think that the Eagles would punt. It does look like they're getting in a punt formation here.
I believe this is Taylor Evans, the wide receiver, also kick returner out of Simi Valley, California. And IMG Academy, not just all over the nation, but all over the world. And a nice punt. This will get back to Evans. He'll field it at the 29. He changes direction. Able to keep his feet, cuts upfield at the 30. And his forward progress will be stopped. And nice to avoid the first contact, but can't get much more positive yards. It'll be a net gain of 1, even though he ran about 20 yards on the play.
Yeah, Evans made a couple of different cuts. He spun out of the first tackle attempt, but everything he did was lateral. He was never able to get vertical and get upfield and actually get some positive yards out of that, but it was exciting.
first and 10 from their own 30-yard line, and a too many men on the field penalty. It looks like Valley State has 12 on, and Leonard Anderson listed as a wide receiver, linebacker, and safety. So first and 10 now turns into first and 5. The ball spotted at the IMG 35. Now in motion, Dorian Paris has stood up right at the line of scrimmage.
That was a great fill by linebacker Shamar Cadet. Cadet busted through and form tackled. That was just a great fill by him from the middle linebacker position.
So 2nd and 5. We'll see if they stick with Dorian Paris. A couple options also, and Taylor Evans on the near side. Now the snap. Play action to Paris, and this one goes out to Julian Taylor, who will get enough for the first down and then run out of bounds.
Good play design. They brought Taylor across in motion, then they faked the read option, which held the linebackers. The Eagles didn't really adjust to that motion, and they just pitched it out, and Taylor was able to take it for the first down.
So first and 10 from their own 43. Davis Hawkins in the slot on the far side with Malachi Matthews, Julian Taylor, and Taylor Evans to the near side, and the hand to Paris again, and he is bottled up trying to get up the middle, and he'll be tackled for a loss. Dorian Paris, 5'8", 197 pounds, out of Fort Myers, Florida, just didn't have the space to get something going. And a beautiful day here in Bradenton, Florida. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s, but a stiff breeze coming from the east toward the Gulf of Mexico to the west, or directly where you guys are watching from, so in your face. Ascenders in their white jerseys attacking from south to north, right to left on your screen. And now the little swing screen to Paris, who is brought down from behind, but not before he gains 7 on the play. Will bring up 3rd and 5.
A screen, nice little setup for the screen. Arnaud bought time to get that ball out while Paris was still in the backfield and had some defenders around him. The defense closed down pretty quickly, though, for just a short gain, so we're about 3rd and 6 for a first down for the Ascenders.
And now at running back, looks like Xavier Terrell may have checked in, and being brought down, that is Anthony Arnaud for the loss.
Arnaud didn't have what he wanted. He was looking for an in-breaking route, but it was well covered. And then the pocket broke down. Number 53, DeQuavius Huddleston, broke through for the sack. So it forces a punt here from the Ascenders.
Saw a little bit of this in our last post-grad game, where the first few drives kind of stalled before the post-grad team was able to move on and comfortably get their first victory on the season. And end over end, this one will bounce and take an Ascender bounce toward the 20-yard line, and about as good a punt as you can hope for. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles.
Well, at the very least, IMG was able to change the field position back. They're pinning the Eagles here inside their own 30-yard line. Looks like they're starting just outside the 20 at about the 21.
And they will take the FHSAA mandated water break. We will take it with them with 4:50 remaining in the first quarter. It's scoreless here between IMG Academy and Valley State. You're watching Ascender football on IMG Academy TV. And as we break the water timeout, 1st and 10 for Valley State from their own 20-yard line. Now the snap, the hand up the middle, and that is the big running back, Nafis Matthews.
Matthews from New Jersey. He's listed at 5'10", 210. He looks bigger than that.
He does look like a wrecking ball coming through that line. Out of Westside High School out of Newark, New Jersey. Again, that Bergen County area, a huge haven for football with some of the best programs in the country. You've got Don Bosco, Bergen Catholic, Paramus Catholic, and that's going to be a penalty. It should be on both. As Liam Gombrich was tied up with Larry Williams. And then Gombrich with the final takedown, but we'll see what the official call is. Personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct. It is going to be against both. They will offset.
These were offsetting personal fouls.
So it'll be 2nd and 4 for Valley State. Four minutes remaining in the first quarter. Roll takes the snap and quickly through. Almost looks like it was going to go down. And just a lot of running around in the backfield. And then finally brought down by a gang of ascenders.
Devin Bailey was dancing around. He was able to make 2 ascender defenders miss in the backfield, but the pursuit just continued to close down around him. And eventually it ended up being for nothing. He wasn't able to get really any positive yards on the play, but a lot of great moves in the backfield.
Now 3rd and 5 on the loss of 1. The first quarter winding down. Roll, drops. Pressure coming. He's going to keep it himself. He'll get enough for the first down and a couple and then step out of bounds right about midfield. And there is laundry on the field. We'll see what the official call is.
Well, we know Roll was listed as a wide receiver. He's clearly got speed. He was able to get out of the pocket there, bounce that outside, and run all the way for the first down.
And an illegal shift against Valley State. So after a gain of about 15 on the play down, they're going to still have that 3rd down, except instead of 3rd and 5, it's going to be 3rd and 10. And IMG Academy, not a school that you can afford to make little mental mistakes with, as they will always capitalize. We saw that last night as the number 6 team in the nation in Miami Northwestern came and played the national team, currently ranked number 1 in the country, and every mistake cost them. And another.
Oh, the Ascenders got a huge break on that play. They were in man-to-man coverage, and the Eagles had one of their wide receivers run across the formation. Number 12, Ethan Rennert, was wide open for them, completely uncovered, running free. Unfortunately, Roll did not see him, and they were not able to capitalize. That would have been either a huge gain or a touchdown. It was a busted coverage. But they were able to get the stop, and here we go, 4th down, and the Eagles are going to have to punt it right back to IMG. So the field position battle continues.
4th and 10, and again, with this gust blowing directly across the face of the punter, the long snap, absolutely pivotal. They get it back, pressure coming. Sailing back for Taylor Evans. He's able to field it at the 31 and shakes one tackle, cuts up field, and still stays on his feet. He'll get to the 34 before finally being brought down, and 1st and 10 for the Ascender offense yet again, with time winding down, 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
This is a quick-moving first quarter on the clock. Doesn't seem like it on the field, but as you look at the clock, there's been a lot of time that's been run off. That happens when there's a lot of rushing plays, not a lot of incomplete passes. So the Ascenders get their second possession here. They weren't able to move the ball much in their first attempt. The Eagles have shown that they've got a stout defensive front. Their D-line and their linebackers have been formidable.
Now the snap and the little jet sweep to Julian Taylor, who's got room on the right side, cuts upfield at the 40. He's got space at the 45. And just shy of Eagle territory to the 49-yard line, and good for an Ascender first down.
Taylor was able to use his speed to get outside, and then he made a couple of moves to get himself free and break a tackle and get more yardage to get all the way for the first down.
Anthony Arnaud out of Santa Monica, California, looking to get some points for the Ascenders on this, their second offensive drive, as the first one stalled. Now Taylor in motion. Little swing pass. Taylor will catch it out of the backfield, cuts upfield at the 50. He's got room at the 40. Shakes a tackler with the stiff arm up to the 30. Stays on his feet down to the 26-yard line. And a big gain for Julian Taylor.
Julian Taylor has been heavily featured in the Ascender offense thus far. He came across in motion again, and he did what we call orbit, where he kind of dropped back in the backfield. He lost a little ground to give himself space for Arnaud to throw him that pass, and then he made several great moves and showed a devastating stiff arm on that play to get himself even more yardage for the huge gain. So it's been quite a game so far for Taylor.
That's going to be a stiff arm that Larry Burtz would like to forget. And Julian Taylor, very strong at 5'8", 171 out of Richmond, Virginia. And now from the 27-yard line of Valley State. Snap to Arnaud, the hand. This is Xavier Terrell. Cuts upfield to the 25 to the 20, up to the 15, 10. Another stiff arm getting close to the goal line and shoved out at the 1. Xavier Terrell just absolutely imposing his will on Valley State.
Terrell has a lot of quickness. He's extremely hard to tackle with his lateral movement, and he bounced all over the place on that play and was able to get it all the way down inside the 1-yard line. He just couldn't push it in, but the Ascenders are set up in great position here with 1st and goal from inside the 1.
Arnaud with the snap. Xavier Terrell is going to bounce to the left side, stays on his feet, extends into the end zone, touchdown. From 1 yard out, gets contact in the backfield, but would not be denied. And X going to give it to you and also give the Ascenders those first 6 points.
It's always good to get on the board first, and the Ascenders are able to do that. Looks like they're discussing going for 2. Not sure what their kicking situation is today. We know that the Ascenders, all their teams have fantastic kickers, but it looks like they're going to go for 2 on their first possession.
So Anthony Arnaud, 2 receivers right, 2 to the left, sends Julian Taylor in motion, and they go with that jet sweep. Taylor's got to break the edge. He cuts upfield at the 5, jumps, extends, and no good. He falls just shy. So with 1 minute remaining in the first, the Ascenders take a 6-0 lead over Valley State, unable to convert the 2-point conversion.
What an effort by Taylor to try to get in the end zone. He had to bounce it and even lose ground to get around the edge there. He was strung out all the way to the sideline. He was able to turn it upfield right before he got to the sideline, but there were a couple of Eagle defenders between him and the goal line, and he went to the air and stretched the ball out. They were able to push him out of bounds, make the collision before he could break the pylon. So great play by the Eagles to make the stop, but also a great effort by Taylor to try to get it across the line.
6-0 your Ascender lead over the visiting Valley State Eagles. And we saw in the IMG Academy first post-grad game where 2-point conversions was what actually did them in after getting 2 field goals and 3 touchdowns. ended up losing that game 27-28, playing a team that did not have a kicking game of any kind in North Palm Beach Prep. So when they did get to 27-26, they had to go for two, and they were able to convert, and that's how the post-grad team lost their first ever game, 28-27, but then a nice answer last week in getting their first win. Now sitting at 1-1. Is fielded at the 13. And still staying on his feet, that is Ezekiel Blake. And shortens the field for Valley State.
There were several Ascender players that were in on that tackle, but running back Dorian Paris was able to finish him off there. Now we've got another flag on the field. This could be some types of unsportsmanlike or late hit. The officials are discussing it right now.
And it was an extremely late flag, and it's unsportsmanlike conduct against Valley State. So after a nice return to bring them up to the 27-yard line, that will move them back significantly and shorten the field for the IMG defense.
We talk about self-inflicted wounds every week, and it is pretty consistent that the other teams that come in here and play the Ascenders seem to hurt themselves so often, and you just can't afford to do this against this team. You have an opportunity to come out, potentially drive the ball down the field and either tie, take the lead, and you're backing yourself up now. We've got another flag.
And looks like they may have 12 men on the field.
This is an illegal substitution against Valley State.
And that is, in fact, what it was, an illegal substitution.
It's really hard to dig yourself out of this kind of a hole, and you don't want to give IMG momentum like this early in the game.
Now Roll has Nafis Matthews in the backfield. Sends Blake in motion. Takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself and try to get upfield. He'll get a couple, but that won't be enough.
McKee and Pickney combined on the tackle, closed that hole quickly. 2nd and 12 for the Eagles.
And when you start with 3 yards and a cloud of dust on 1st and 10, that is something that is manageable, but on 1st and 15, that's not going to get it done. 2nd and 12, this will be the last play of the first quarter. Roll takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself. And a flag coming in the trenches in the neighborhood of holding.
That play ended up being a quarterback ISO. The running back lined up on his hip, led straight through the hole and blocked the linebacker, and Roll was able to get a great gain. But there's a good shot that it's going to be coming back as well.
And it is a hold. And that is how the first quarter will end after 12 minutes of play. IMG Academy 6, Valley State Eagles 0 will swap sides and do it again going the other way. You're watching Ascender football on IMG Academy TV. I'd like to take some time to thank our sponsors here of IMG Academy Athletics, Gatorade, Under Armour, and Zenith. Gatorade keeping our ascenders well hydrated, Under Armour keeping them well dressed, and Zenith keeping them well protected on the field. Thank you for your continued support of IMG Academy Athletics. As we move to the second quarter here in Bradenton, Florida, IMG Academy Stadium. My name is Ryan Sudol. The other voice you hear on the broadcast, Josh Phillips, from Ivy League play at Yale and in the NFL with the Houston Texans and the AFL. And Josh even reminded me last night, old enough to remember good old NFL Europe.
That's right. Amsterdam Admirals. I was only a couple years behind Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner. I did not get to play with him, unfortunately, but that would have been a blast.
I was always a big Rainfire fan. And now the snap for roll across the middle, intended for Jalen Zulo, incomplete.
The Rainfire had arguably the coolest jerseys and helmets in NFL Europe. It's unfortunate that league is not going anymore. It was a great breeding ground for NFL talent. There's really no minor league for NFL besides college, and the other major sports, basketball, baseball, they have a minor league system. The NFL doesn't. It utilizes college, but who knows? Maybe the XFL, under the leadership of The Rock, will be able to provide the NFL with a feeding ground, feeding system.
And now roll evades the safety and then just in and out of the hands of Kerry Desenord. And they are very lucky to keep those 2 points. That was almost the defense converting the 2-point conversion for the Ascenders, and it also would have gave them the ball back.
Yeah, Roll made an incredibly athletic play to be able to avoid that safety. He was able to spin out of it. It looked like the defender had a hold of him, and Roll ducked down. The defender rolled right over the top of him, and he was able to keep his feet and roll out and at least get rid of the ball. Not able to get any positive gain, but didn't take the safety. Now it's 4th down, but they are backed up deep inside their own territory trying to punt the ball out. It's a dangerous situation for the Eagles punting.
And he'll have to kind of just adjust and do that rugby-style kick.
Honestly, that's about the best you could hope for, and there was pressure that came off the edge, and it was right in his face, and he was able to get that ball off and get it to roll for a few extra yards. Now, the Ascenders are set up in great field position. They're on the plus side of the 50 heading in here. They've only got about 43 yards to get a touchdown, so they're winning the field position battle right now. And the Eagles are really going to have to rise up to make a stop here to have an opportunity to keep this within one score.
So 1st and 10, short field for the post-grad IMG Academy Ascenders. And we will see Dayon Hooper. His teammates call him Hoop. He's got his toes at midfield with Dorian Paris on his right hip. 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line of Valley State. And this one just outside of the reach of Julian Taylor and Weston Adams, incomplete.
Looks like there was a little bit of miscommunication there. Weston Adams and Julian Taylor are kind of having a conversation there. They were both in the same area, right almost in the same spot. So I think that's why that ball ended up being incomplete. There was a little bit of a miscommunication on the routes. Hooper was expecting something else.
Day Hooper awaits the snap. He's going to keep it himself. He rolls to his left. Taylor Evans wanted a little adjustment pass there. Doesn't need it as Day Hooper puts a shoulder down.
There's some big contact there on the sideline. Multiple flags thrown. Hooper lowered his shoulder. Question was he still in bounds or not? And if it was out of bounds, they might be flagging the Eagles here for a hit out of bounds. But it's really close to call. I know that there's a couple of flags here. It'll be interesting to see what the officials rule.
And it is a personal foul. So the personal foul is against
both
Valley State, and then the unsportsmanlike conduct is going to be against probably Day Hooper.
Offsetting penalties.
Looks like we probably had a little unnecessary roughness mixed with some unsportsmanlike conduct, and we'll do that down over. Again, we were talking just a little bit, Josh, about your time in NFL Europe, but you mentioned Kurt Warner, but you also had a guy named Adam Vinatieri who has a few rings on his finger as well.
That's true.
Friend of mine, Jared Payton, son of Walter, who also had a successful career at the University of Miami. Jake Delhomme, who also, I believe, went to a Super Bowl with the Carolina Panthers as well. So you're right, it was a very effective breeding ground here as IMG Academy will take a timeout. Looks like they have it as 3rd and 5. That's just of the Amsterdam Admirals, the team that you played on. Also won World Bowl 13 back in 2005.
Yeah.
I forgot they also had the North American teams as well back in the early 90s with the World Football League. New York, New Jersey Knights, Montreal Machine, Raleigh-Durham Skyhawks, Orlando Thunder right down the road. So
I remember the Orlando Thunder. A lot of neon in those jerseys.
Again, everybody tries to come up with something. We've seen the XFL try to compete with, not necessarily compete with the NFL, but against the NFL. The old USFL, there's a great 30 for 30 on that as well. And NFL is king in this country.
Wasn't Donald Trump an owner in the USFL?
Actually won a lawsuit against the NFL and I believe was awarded a check for $1, if I remember correctly. Now Hooper takes the snap. And just that little screen pass to Dorian Paris.
53, DeQuavius Huddleston chased him down from the backside. Day Hooper dropped back, bought himself time to dump that ball off on the screen.
And thank you for spending your Saturday afternoon with us. You can socialize with IMG Academy on all platforms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Follow along at IMG Academy. If you're watching on the Facebook live stream, feel free to drop any questions or comments you have. Had a lively chat for the top 10 matchup between the number 1 IMG Academy national team and the Miami Northwestern Bulls, ranked number 6 last night.
This is a long field goal attempt.
Probably the longest we have seen on this field, 53 yards. We'll test the leg of Gavin Marshall, and he's got the wind. He's going to want to aim for that left upright. As you can see, the flag of the uprights and the American flag blowing directly towards the camera at probably about 15 miles an hour or so.
Okay, so they just got to delay a game penalty. It's backed up 5 more yards, and they're still going to attempt it. This is the longest high school attempted field goal I've ever seen.
So 58 yards for Gavin Marshall. The snap is back. The hold is down. The kick is up with the wind, and it is going to be fielded, but then taken out. It would have been a 58-yarder, and it falls just shy.
If the delay of game penalty hadn't happened, I believe that field goal would have gone in. It was just shy. It was a couple of yards shy, and it was on target. So that ended up being a pivotal penalty that the Ascenders took.
So 6-0 will remain the score. And again, without the wind, that one probably goes in.
Huge mistake, though, for the Eagles. So they actually had a guy back to field it, and he caught it and then went out of the back of the end zone, so it's a touchback. If he had not fielded it, they would have taken the ball almost 30 yards further upfield. So by catching it and stepping out, he actually lost a significant amount of yardage for his team.
And now the hand straight up the middle and just about 2 or 3 yards. And again, some more pushing and shoving and the flag coming, and John Copley right in the middle of that.
This game's getting chippy early here. You can tell both sides are on edge.
And this will cost the Ascenders a first down. No, it's actually going to be against Valley State. They started walking it off in favor of the Eagles, and then the coaching staff for the Ascenders quick.
This happened the last time the Eagles had the ball as well. There was a couple of penalties that they got, and they backed themselves up inside their own 10-yard line. The Eagles need to calm down a little bit and get out of their own way, allow themselves to just make a few plays. Try to get something consistent here.
2nd and 23, 9:38 remaining, and again in the shadow of their own end zone. Seth Roll. Nafis Matthews in the backfield. The line to gain is the 30. The ball is spotted at the 12. So now, I believe it's 2nd and 17. And Matthews straight up the middle, barrels forward. And he'll get a few on the play.
Safeties Tyler Childress and number 33, Pete Sicolo, closed down on that, combined for the tackle. That was a nice fill by both of those players.
Two receivers to each side. Roll adjust the position of Blake. And another false start.
It's on the same player. Number 75, Demario Grant, again, trying to get out of his stance a little early. He's just antsy about that pass rush coming off the edge, and he's been flagged 2 times in this game for procedure penalties.
Two receivers left, 2 to the right. Roll takes the shotgun snap, rolls out to his right, keeps it, tries to find number 17. That is Blake. And Ezekiel Blake is brought down before the line to gain, and another flag.
We might actually get a targeting penalty, which I won't agree with, but it might be a targeting penalty as one of the safeties came in, might have ducked their head, led with their head as they made contact. Roll did a good job. The edge was sealed off. He was trying to roll out to his right, and the edge rusher sealed that off, and he cut up inside of it, bought himself more time, and made a nice throw there on the crossing route.
And Coach George Hegman is going to move them back. And Josh, you not the only member of the IMG staff here that played in NFL Europe. Head coach George Hegman also played 1 year with the Frankfurt Galaxy back in 1996.
All right, another NFL Europe alum.
Also has a Super Bowl ring with the Dallas Cowboys from Super Bowl 30.
I do not have one of those.
Got a few victories under Harvard under your belt, though.
That's right.
Any Yale player would love to have.
That's right.
And down Seth Roll goes, and that'll bring up 4th and long.
Beat Harvard my sophomore, junior, and senior year.
What happened freshman year?
We lost. We went 1-9. It was not a good year. That was the first class for former head coach Jack Sidlecki. He recruited, my class was his first incoming recruiting class, and we struggled that first year, but then turned it around and went 7-3 and then 9-1 and won the championship my junior year. So it was a building process. Sometimes it's a building process. So we got 4th down for the Eagles. They're going to be punting the ball back to IMG. IMG should get great field position.
And almost blocking it Evans will field this at the 46. Able to shake one, trying to cut back upfield, and only able to get to the 42, and now another flag coming in.
This has been a heavily penalized game thus far. There's been a lot of flags thrown on both sides.
I'm not sure how much of it, because this penalty is going to be against IMG Academy. Because for Valley State, for the most part, they have been playing at a junior college level with junior college referees and rules. So there were some rules that they were not accustomed to, because we do have Florida High School Athletic Association referees playing by high school rules here with the post-grad program. So there is probably some miscommunications on certain penalties. For example, certain pass interference calls are not automatic first downs. They're just the 15 yards. So if you're at 3rd and 20, it'll only go to 3rd and 5 on those pass interference calls. And now the handoff to Xavier Terrell, getting that right edge, gets into Eagle territory, cuts back, and he is brought down and violently around the head, but did not get the face mask, but he'll get the first down and shorten the field for the Ascenders.
Ezekiel Blake made the tackle. We've seen him make a couple catches already for the Eagles on offense. Blake did a move that used to be called hang 'em high. He brought in the forearm up around the chest and neck of Xavier Terrell and really violently ripped him down to the ground. But, hey, it's a violent game.
So we'll take the water break. 6:55 remaining in the half. You're watching Ascender Football on IMG Academy TV. Welcome back, IMG Academy Stadium after the water break. 1st and 10 for the Ascenders, 39 yards to go. Day Hooper in at quarterback, takes the snap. Xavier Terrell with some blocking help, able to find Julian Taylor at the 35 and shakes one. And shoved out of bounds, but good enough to get the first down.
Taylor definitely showed some shakes on that play. He started to cut in, bounced it right back out, left a defender standing there flat-footed as he advanced the ball another 5 or 6 yards down the sideline. Taylor has been heavily used in the Ascender attack thus far. I think this is the most action we've seen him get so far this season, and he's been very effective. He's not only lining up at wide receiver in the slot, he's also lining up in the backfield when they go split backs.
Now the snap, the hand to Xavier Terrell. Taylor with blocking help. Terrell straight up the middle. Shakes 3 tackles, 4 tackles, 5 tackles, and out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Oh, my goodness.
Xavier Terrell looked like a video game on that play. He was pressing the juke move button over and over. Was able to spin his way all the way down inside the 10-yard line, but another flag is on the field. Even further, it should be a half the distance penalty. It's going to advance the ball down. It's just inside the 5-yard line, so less than 5 yards. 1st and goal now for the Ascenders heading in.
So after the sizable run by Xavier Terrell, about 20 yards on the carry, and now half the distance will bring them at 1st and goal from the 5. Hooper takes the shotgun snap, looking to keep it himself. Able to back up just a little bit and tall enough to fall forward and gain about half more of the distance, and will bring up 2nd and goal.
That was another one of those QB ISO type plays. The backs led up on the linebackers to try to free Hooper up, but the Eagle defense rallied and was able to stop him before he could get it into the end zone.
Davis Hawkins with some blocking help as the tight end. Hooper takes the snap. Play action to Terrell. Hooper still with some space, and he just tries to throw but steps out of bounds. And that'll be for a loss. It'll bring up 3rd and goal. They'll move back to the 8-yard line.
Got a potential injury here. There's an Eagle down in the end zone. There's also a flag on the ground right next to him. So I did not see that unfold. I didn't see it till after the play, but he's writhing around in pain. Hopefully he's okay. We've got the training staff coming out to check on him right now. Can't see the number.
And believe that was Thomas Race. That was, might have been, it was Ethan Lang, I believe, number 56, asking what the particular infraction was. You can get all your IMG Academy gear dressed like the players and the coaching staff. Go to www.shopimg.com, your official IMG Academy online retailer.
Well, the Eagle player is up. He's walking off the field under his own power. I believe that's number 28, Devin Bailey. Athlete, free safety. But it's good to see him get up and be able to move off the field under his own power.
So 3rd and goal, there was a 10-yard penalty against the Ascenders. Although the line judge here has it at 2nd and goal from the 18. Hooper takes the snap. Xavier Terrell straight up the middle, evades 2 tackles, falling forward and gang tackled, gets back to the 4-yard line.
Well, Terrell got a huge hunk of that yardage that they just lost back and got the Ascenders all the way back down inside the 5-yard line again. So that was a great run on 2nd down after they backed themselves up to 2nd and 18. So now they're going to be about 3rd and 4 for the touchdown.
And the scoreboard saying 4th and 4. The down marker says 3rd from the 4-yard line. Hooper's just going to keep it himself, looking for a lane. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown. Day Hooper from 4 yards out. Doubles up the Ascenders score, and it's 12-0. That extra point pending. They went for 2 the last time.
Looks like they're going to go for 2 again. I don't see the extra point field goal unit coming in. Day Hooper with some tough running there to pound the ball into the end zone, evading tacklers, driving his legs, making sure he punched it across the goal line.
And Valley State Eagles out of the Orlando area, coming in at 4-2, but mentioned early in the first quarter, arguably their best player, Finlay Toussaint, averaging 2 interceptions a game, broke his leg last week. Unfortunate for them, and now the jet sweep. They'll try it for Julian Taylor again. This time he stretches out, and it's good. Missed the first one, gets the second effort, and the 2-point conversion will put the Ascenders up 14-0. With 4:11 remaining in the half.
Taylor was absolutely not going to be denied. They tried a jet sweep to him before for the 2-point conversion at the other end of the field, and he had to dive and wasn't able to punch it in. That time he lowered the shoulder, drove his legs. His helmet ended up getting knocked off, but he was able to deliver the blow and force the ball, will the ball all the way into the end zone to get those 2 points. So another great effort from Julian Taylor, who has had a fantastic first half.
14-0, 4:11 remaining. You're watching Ascender football on IMG Academy TV. And the Ascenders with the kickoff fielded by the near sideline. That is number 8, Christopher Kelly Davis, trying to get some space. And then finally, closing off that tackle, Logan Aiello. He had an interception last week.
Kelly Davis broke through a couple of tackles there and was able to advance the ball all the way out to the 30-yard line. 29-yard line. But it's good field position for the Eagles, barring any penalties, which they've started both of the last 2 drives with self-inflicted wounds. They've got an opportunity here to try to drive the ball and maybe get this to a 14-7 game. They got to put a few plays together, try to establish some consistency here on offense. We've seen them make some athletic plays. They've done a few things well, but nothing sustained.
And the hand up the middle for Valley State. Again, with that strong defensive line, when you have guys like Christian Ingman, Edward McKee, Charlie Goodell, Liam Gombrich, and John Copley. Those are big bodies. Goodell at 5'10", 266. Copley 6 foot, 218. Not easy. I don't care at what age you're at to get around anybody that size. Now 3:20 and counting. Roll still in at quarterback. Unfortunate that they lost Colton Richards in that first drive. Actually, on the first play of the game, Colton Richards had to go out with an injury, so maybe hopefully see him in the second half, but no signs of returning so far.
Colton Richards was 1 for 1. His one pass attempt he completed, and that's where he got injured, trying to move up and evade the rush in the pocket. We haven't seen the Eagles attack downfield much. Everything that they've done in their passing game has been short and or on crossing routes. So they're going to need to try at least to hit something deep down the field to try to loosen up this Ascender defense. Otherwise, the Ascenders are going to jump all over their short passing game and their run game.
Now the snap. Pressure coming quickly. Roll. Fires one nicely to Ethan Rinnert, who will get the first down, and then Zaccolo wraps him up. And also Mo McFarland, wearing number 34 today in Pinckney.
Roll got that last pass off on time. One of the first times we've seen him just straight drop back in the pocket, not try to roll out. Completed the short out. Was able to be good enough to get the first down.
1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Now Roll with the snap. And Nafis Matthews trying to find some space on that right edge. Aiello in on the tackle, also Pinckney there as well. And it'll be a short gain for the Eagles.
Some hard running from Nafis Matthews. Again, we think that he's bigger than that 210 listed roster weight.
Toward midfield and across and into Ascender territory. but shy of the line to gain, Nafis Matthews.
Nafis Matthews is running downhill with authority. It's taking at least 2 or 3 Ascender defenders to bring him down every time.
So 3rd and 3, 60 seconds left. And they're going to definitely want to score and try and put some points on the board before the half. And the Ascenders up 14-0 over the visiting Valley State Eagles.
A score right now would completely change the complexion of the game going into halftime. Right now they're down 2 scores. If they were able to score, it's a 1-possession game. Plus, it just gives you a lot of confidence. As you go into the locker room at halftime, you've got something to build on. You can bring that momentum out in the second half. You think, hey, if we're able to get a stop here, if we're able to punch the ball in, this is a tie football game. If they don't score before the half, it feels like a wasted opportunity.
Third and 3 from the Ascender 48-yard line. Now Roll takes the snap. He's going to try and keep it himself and into the backfield, shutting that play down. That is Liam McCormick.
We've got a timeout for the Eagles. They're going to take a second to think about this. There's 44 seconds left in the half. It's a 4th and 2. If they go for it and they don't get it here, they give the Ascenders the ball just on the other side of the 50-yard line with enough time to try to do something with it and potentially put more points on the board before the end of the half. So going for it and not getting it is a risky proposition. However, the Eagles do want to try to score before the half, and they really are going to take some time and think about this. And I think their coaching staff is probably going to go for it. It looks like they're bringing their offense back out on the field. You come up with that, whatever your best play is to get 2 yards here, because you absolutely have to get this.
Liam McCormick, 6'1", 258, out of Islip, New York. And on 4th and 2, and a huge play for Valley State. Now the snap, they go straight up the middle, and believe that's Nafis Matthews. He will get the first down.
Matthews has shown some tough running thus far in the game. He's a hard man to bring down. So on that must situation, that 4th and 2, the Eagles coaching staff said, we're going to give it to Matthews, and we're going to trust that he's going to go downhill and get this.
Ascenders with 2 timeouts remaining. Valley State with 1. They're quickly back to the line in formation. 20 seconds left. Roll looking downfield, incomplete. That intended for Jalen Zulo. And it'll be 2nd and 10, 17.3 remaining in the first half.
At most, the Eagles are only going to have 3 plays left, probably most likely 2. They have a timeout that they can still call. So they're going to take 1 of 2 approaches. You're even going to try to throw a ball towards the sideline and get a catch and immediately step out of bounds to stop the clock. Or you're going to take a shot somewhere in the middle, and as soon as he's tackled, you call a timeout, and you're either going to take 1 more shot at the end zone or you're going to try to kick it and at least get 3 on the board before halftime.
And you have to feel, though, that for this Valley State coaching staff missing their best player, they will actually take their timeout now. So that eliminates the play across the middle of the field. You have to think that 3 points doesn't feel like enough against this IMG Academy team.
Definitely not. So now it's 1 of 2 things. They're either going to throw it to the end zone, and this is going to be their shot, or they're going to throw it to the sideline, try to step out of bounds, and get 1 more shot closer to the end zone. So we'll see what they come up with here. We haven't seen a lot of downfield passing from them thus far.
And we've seen Roll does have an accurate arm. He's gotten a few completions off. And Colton Richards was your starting quarterback, and looks like on his follow-through may have nailed his hand on a helmet or gotten a little stinger to the side, or one of the arms looked like he might have had a little bit of a dead arm after he threw that first pass, and did not get any official diagnosis. So probably the final 2 plays, and again with the wind absolutely whipping here in Bradenton, anything downfield is going to be affected. Now the snap, rolls to his right, and he is going to look deep downfield, and it is intercepted. It's Pete Zuccolo. There's a flag. That's no doubt going to be defensive pass interference.
Zuccolo made a great read. He was playing a half-field safety there, and he was deeper than the deepest. So he was able to break downhill on that. He had vision on that roll pass the entire time. Well timed up by Zuccolo, and he was able to go up and catch that ball at its highest point and get a solid return on that. But we do have a flag on the ground. It may get taken away from him. And that would be a costly penalty. That would set the Eagles up with a scoring situation with only 4 seconds left on the clock. That looks like what's going to happen. It's going to put the Eagles inside the 20-yard line, at the 25-yard line, headed in. So they've got one more shot with 4 seconds left on the clock to try to get the ball into the end zone.
So there was a defensive hold that was declined, and the defensive pass interference was accepted, which helped set up that Pete Zuccolo interception, but all for naught. Now roll, just looking, heaves one into the end zone. This one a duck, and almost intercepted, and it is caught, and that is how the half will end. And Zuccolo comes up with it again. A little Halloween deja vu.
Zuccolo was determined to get that interception on his stat sheet today. They tried to test him again. They went right back to that right side, and again, Zuccolo was playing that half-field safety. He tipped that ball to himself and was able to get that interception and prevent the score before the end of the half. So some great safety play by Zuccolo to finish the half up. I would say the star on offense was Julian Taylor. He had a fantastic first half for the Ascenders. He made all sorts of plays, and he willed himself into the end zone on that second 2-point conversion. So the Ascenders are up 14. They had a solid first half. They've been dominant thus far. The Eagles have got a lot of talk about at halftime.
Halftime here in Bradenton. We will step aside for about 15 minutes. You're watching Ascender football. Your score at half, IMG Academy 14, Valley State 0. You're watching Ascender football on IMG Academy TV.
There's a fog out there, and it's calling you by name. It wants to wrap its whole self around you, make you forget who you are. But you won't forget. You've got to find your way through that fog, through the unknown. There's only one way. Run.
We're going to talk a little bit about wall training. Let's go.
We're going to go 3 different types of lunges.
Just keep that back flat.
Today we're going to take it through a full body workout. So let's go.
IMG Plus online camps take the world-renowned coaching and training methodology that helps create high-performing athletes here on site in Bradenton, Florida, and makes it accessible online, allowing for athletes to the ease and convenience of training without having to travel. While most online training platforms feature-only pre-recorded instruction, IMG Academy Plus camps deliver daily live video sessions and interactions with IMG coaches and personalized analysis of your game. So not only do we provide a proven training plan, we evaluate and provide feedback on your progress so you know what to do and how to continue improving. So first you have to select the week that you would choose to partake in the activity. On Monday, you'll have a live video call with your coach that will give you instruction and explanation for the week's curriculum. Next, you'll receive access to your plan for the week. Now, this is going to be specific training that is tied to sports development as well as your APD curriculum. APD will include performance training in areas like movement, mental training, and athletic regeneration. Throughout the week, you're going to record yourself or have someone record your actions. You'll submit those videos to your coach for full analysis, and then they will be returned each day. The process will continue Monday through Friday, and at the end of the week, you'll have a full training experience that touches on all of the different aspects in that sport and all levels of development. So the coaches that are going to be working with our virtual campers are going to be the same coaches that work with our student athletes, with our campers, and with our pros that train here on site year-round. They're going to use some of the same methodology that has helped IMG Academy student athletes become some of the world's top athletes.
You think you know us? You think you know what we're about?
One IMG Academy here in Florida.
You think you know what it takes to succeed here? To focus? To grind?
Here we go.
Every single day? You don't even know the half of it.
Let's go.
This here is a brotherhood. We're talking about a got your back now and forever.
Let it out.
Push you harder than you've ever been pushed kind of brotherhood. It's a brotherhood that recognizes the success that came before us and the expectations for us to maintain it. Because the last thing we'd ever do is disappoint our brothers.
24th pick, Cesar Ruiz. 44th pick, Grant Delpit. 46th pick, KJ Hamler.
Scarborough breaks the tackle, surging forward, he's in for the touchdown.
We hear what you're saying. The haters, the doubters, the people who throw shots without any idea of the work we put in and the sacrifices we make. But we'll let you in on a little secret. It doesn't matter. You know why? We hold ourselves to a higher standard than anyone could ever set for us. Work harder. Get stronger. Be smarter. Play faster. Dream bigger.
Unreal. IMG dominating.
This one getting a little out of control.
This is a brotherhood. So you think you know us? Well, you're about to find out.
The academic programs at IMG Academy are designed to be complementary to our athletic programs, but our goal is to be admitted and successful at the nation's most select institutions. The competition that's out on the field or on the court turns over into the classroom where students are looking to push themselves. Each year, we generally feature National Merit Scholars, AP Scholars, the Service Academies, the Ivy Leagues, elite academic D3 institutions, and everywhere in between. Ultimately, we want to provide the best fit for each of our student athletes. The academic program has 3 tracks. First and foremost is our college preparatory track. Then we have a full honors track beginning in 8th grade. And then lastly, we have AP courses for our most academically competitive students. Over the last few years, the academic program has grown both in its physical size, as we recently added 30,000 square feet for increased number of classrooms, a dedicated English as a second language space, 2 hands-on engineering labs, as well as a broadcast TV studio space. We've increased the overall number of faculty to help keep our class sizes down, as well as add depth and breadth to the curriculum by adding new courses each year. At IMG Academy, our goal is to provide the skills and the knowledge to help our student athletes prepare for success at their chosen college or university.
IMG Academy is easily one of the most unique places in the country.
All right, let's go. Let's get to work.
Every college, every university, every major program in the country comes to IMG to recruit these kids.
LSU, Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia's, they're gonna come knocking on our door because our kids are ready to play right away, ready to compete.
If you can prove yourself at IMG, you can go on to the next level and be successful.
You're here for a reason, and this place is filled with the best.
You know, as an athlete, they want to get better every day. And these kids come here because of the competition and be the best that they can be.
What I want here is the family culture. The brotherhood is coming closer together. And as a team, if we think as one, we're gonna accomplish a lot of our goals.
Welcome to the Bradenton area, where the easy pace of island life comes naturally in this coastal playground with endless white sand beaches, stunning natural preserves, relaxing vibes all around, and it's a seafood lover's paradise. Stay a while to explore downtown Bradenton with top-rated attractions and a friendly community set along the Bradenton Riverwalk. Come lose yourself in the sun-drenched Gulf Coast of Florida and change your reality in the Bradenton area. Learn more at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
Do you really think the greatest of all time just came from nowhere? Of course not. Because everyone starts somewhere, and champions start here. Grown rep by rep, conditioned by pro-level coaches who have earned their stripes. Built in elite camps, training day after day. Drilled until second nature becomes first. Start at IMG Academy.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
You ever have that day? You know, that day, that very moment, you got better. Your better got better. What if that day was every day?
This is your game. You live it, breathe it, dream it. And so do we. We design it, test it, build it, and repeat. This is what you live for. Zenith. Live your game.
Welcome to the Bradenton area, where the easy pace of island life comes naturally in this coastal playground with endless white sand beaches, stunning natural preserves, relaxing vibes all around, and it's a seafood lover's paradise. Stay a while to explore downtown Bradenton with top-rated attractions and a friendly community set along the Bradenton Riverwalk. Come lose yourself in the sun-drenched Gulf Coast of Florida and change your reality in the Bradenton area. Learn more at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
Do you really think the greatest of all time just came from nowhere? Of course not. Because everyone starts somewhere, and champions start here. Grown rep by rep, conditioned by pro-level coaches who have earned their stripes. Built in elite camps, training day after day. Drilled until second nature becomes first. Start at IMG Academy.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
You ever have that day? You know, that day, that very moment, you got better. Your better got better. What if that day was every day?
This is your game. You live it, breathe it.
IMG goes on the road Saturday to play.
Welcome back to IMG Academy Stadium. After one half of play, the Ascenders lead the visiting Valley State postgraduate Eagles by a score of 14-0. Ryan Sudol alongside my broadcast partner, Josh Phillips. Josh, a pretty just standard IMG couple of drives that got them into the end zone, and a couple of mistakes by Valley State really costing them and keeping them at the board with the 0.
Yeah. We saw Day Hooper make a couple of athletic plays running the football out of the backfield at quarterback. We saw number 27, Julian Taylor, have the best half of football we've seen him have yet. And then we saw our man Xavier Terrell be explosive in the backfield and put the Ascenders up by 14. But for the Eagles, a lot of self-inflicted wounds, a lot of mistakes, and a lot of penalties. They've got some great athletes over there that have made some plays, but just not able to put together anything consistent. And now they've got to kick the ball right back to the Ascenders to start the second half. Hopefully their defense is able to come out here and get a stop, give their offense a chance to chip away at the lead.
And a flag on the first play of the second half, because why not?
Might have an offsides penalty against the Eagles here on the kickoff. That's exactly what we have. It's going to back them up a little bit further. It's going to make this a very returnable ball for IMG. The likelihood of this kick making it to the end zone now is next to nothing. So probably a very returnable kick coming, and IMG may be able to get something big out of it. We'll see.
So they'll spot the ball at the 35. Joe Kachaniak with a very strong leg. Taylor will field this at the 5. And he is just shot out of a cannon. He is into Eagle territory. Gets out of the legs of Kachaniak to the 31 to beat. Stays on his feet, but a beautiful drive. Gets it down to about the 11-yard line. 85 yards for Julian Taylor.
Julian Taylor continues the best game that we've seen him have in an Ascender uniform with a great return. He was flying down the sideline. He was able to evade the kicker. There was one man left between Taylor and a touchdown, but he had to cut back, and it slowed him up just enough for the Eagles' pursuit to catch up and make that tackle before he was able to get in the end zone. This may come all the way back. I see a flag on the field, and it looks like everybody is marching that direction. I see the official walking it off, so some type of a clip and or hold for the Ascender return team. But Julian Taylor, again, just showing what athleticism he has and speed with a heck of a return.
And last night in the top national game between the number 1 National Ascenders and the number 6 Miami Northwestern Bulls, we saw their basically first play from scrimmage, a 91-yard touchdown run by Lavoisier Carroll, get negated by a holding penalty there. An 85-yard kickoff return by Julian Taylor also comes back, but they'll still have standard field position for a kickoff return. Anthony Arnaud will return as quarterback. And I believe that is Xavier Terrell on his left hip. Now the snap. Terrell in the flat. He catches it at the 15, cuts up field, and will only get 4 on the play. That'll give him 5 officially. It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Ascenders. And thanks for spending your Saturday afternoon with us. If you have any questions about IMG Academy Athletics, feel free to drop them in the Facebook Live chat. If you're watching on YouTube, just switch over to the Facebook stream, facebook.com/IMG Academy. Arnaud takes the snap. Has a couple of options. Arnaud now adjusting, looking for number 9, Taylor Evans, and just outside of the reach of his outstretched arm, incomplete.
Arnaud moved around in the pocket, was able to buy himself a lot of time. And then he just threw the ball just outside the reach of Taylor Evans there. Evans outstretched, it touched his fingertip. He just wasn't able to bring it in. A very close near miss.
So 3rd and 5, the Ascenders on their first offensive drive of the second half. Arnaud takes the snap, looking downfield again. Gets out of the pocket, looking for one. Now has the deep ball and has a man. It is Malachi Matthews to the 20, 10, 5. Touchdown! From 75 yards out on a 3rd and 5, the Ascenders find the end zone. Touchdown.
That was a beautiful throw by Arnaud. Arnaud was rolling to his left and planted and launched that ball back in a heck of a play by Malachi Matthews. He came all the way across the formation on a deep crossing route. He was able to get inside position on the corner and basically just run away from him. And Arnaud threw a perfect ball with the right amount of touch for Matthews to run under and catch that and take it all the way down for the touchdown.
Malachi Matthews at 6'3", 185 pounds, out of Lansing, Michigan, home of the Michigan State Spartans. Had some pretty good wide receivers come out of MSU. And they'll again go for 2. Arnaud with the empty backfield will send Xavier Terrell in motion. Arnaud rolling to his right. Pressure coming in. He is just going to have to take the sack. No good on the 2-point conversion.
Number 53, DeCavius Huddleston, was able to get in on the sack. That's the second time he's been able to get to Arnaud for a sack this afternoon.
So 20-0 is the score for the Ascenders. That is what it will stay after the missed 2-point conversion. Missed the first attempt, got the second, and missed the third. And that is how we got to this score. A Xavier Terrell 1-yard touchdown, and then a Dayon Hooper 4-yard rushing touchdown. And there we saw Anthony Arnaud doing it with his arm, finding Malachi Matthews for 75 yards.
Anthony Arnaud from Santa Monica High School, Samo High out in California. Came a long way to play here for the IMG post-grad team.
And take this time to thank our sponsors and their continued support of IMG Academy Athletics. Gatorade, Under Armour, and Zenith. Gatorade keeping our Ascenders well hydrated, Under Armour keeping them well dressed, and Zenith keeping them well protected on game day. Thank you for your continued support of IMG Academy Athletics. This one will go out. That'll be a penalty, and that will give Valley State the short field on the kickoff.
Well, Valley State hasn't been able to put together a consistent drive this entire afternoon. They're taking the field here for their first possession of the second half, and it's absolutely imperative if they're going to come back and make this game at all competitive that they get some points on the board. They had an opportunity at the end of the first half. It ended in an interception to try to get something.
So in the last 20 hours, all three programs right now for IMG Academy have outscored their opponents 111-14. 42-0 for the varsity team last night against Lake Placid. 49-14 for the national team, number 1, taking on number 6, Miami Northwestern. And then currently the score 20-0. The IMG Academy post-grad program taking on the visiting Valley State Eagles. I don't think there's ever been a high school in the country that's had 3 victories in less than 20 hours, Josh, but here we are.
Well, a lot of high schools used to play freshman football. And when they had a freshman football team and a JV team and a varsity team, it might have been possible. But IMG is doing it on a whole nother level with their varsity, their national, and their post-grad team.
So after a short gain on first down, they'll get a delay of game penalty.
Again, the type of mistakes that are just drive killers. You know, you get yourself on schedule with about a 3-yard gain on first down. You want it to be manageable, and then you back yourself up.
And Nafis Matthews, the bowling ball, wrecking ball, just working his way through that defensive line. There was an Ascender down.
Nafis Matthews with about a 6 or 7 yard gain there on second down, but if they had been in the position they were before the delay of game penalty, that would have either gotten the first down or set them up with a 3rd and 1. Now they're at a 3rd and about 6.
And it's Liam Gombrich walking off the field gingerly, but on his own power, so just maybe a little recovery time before getting back out onto the field. Now the snap, the quick throw out to Ezekiel Blake, who's got some space and is going to be just shy of the line to gain. They had to get to the 45. And Josh, if you're the head coach for Valley State, is this 4-down territory for you on 4th and short.
Well, it depends on the type of game that you're playing, but based on what's happened thus far, I think they are going to go for it. Early in the game, it was a little bit of a field position battle. It probably wouldn't have been wise to do so. Now that they've given up that first touchdown in the second half and that they're down 3 scores, I think that they're going into all or nothing mode.
Now the snap. They'll go right up the middle and nothing doing. That play will be stopped behind the line of scrimmage, which means it's stopped behind the line again. Turnover on downs. Big stop for the Ascenders.
There were multiple IMG defenders that got penetration on that play and were in the backfield to meet the ball carrier. That play really never had a chance. That was a great stop by the IMG defense. They rose up to meet the moment, and now their offense is going to have an opportunity to go out and make this a 4-score game.
And we'll see Anthony Arnaud trot back out. As quarterback, he'll have Dorian Paris and Julian Taylor on his left and right hips, respectively. Weston Adams to the near side, along with Davis Hawkins. I believe that is Malachi Matthews, the lone target, to his right. Coming off that 75-yard touchdown pass. 1st and 10, the hand to Dorian Paris up the middle. And I believe he's going to get a face mask call against Valley State. So even though the play on the field didn't go far, Valley State gifting the Ascenders 15 free yards.
So this is going to move the Ascenders down even closer, and they're going to have a first down here. It just increases the likelihood that they're going to make this a 4-score game and increase their lead.
So 1st and 10, the ball moves to the 25-yard line of Valley State. They send Taylor in motion. Now the snap, the hand to Paris, and he fumbles it, and it's recovered. The name that we have called the most on that defensive line, DeQuavius Huddleston, is able to fall on it, and Dorian Paris just unable to bring that in, and the Ascender defense will come back onto the field.
DeQuavius Huddleston shot into the backfield and put his helmet directly on the football, and it popped out. He's made several key plays tonight. He has a couple of sacks, and he was in the backfield again, and that is just what the Eagles needed at this point in the game. They needed a turnover. They needed an opportunity to get their offense back on the field, and now their offense needs to answer the bell.
So new life for the Eagle offense, as all of their drives have stalled today. Roll quickly throws and wands the ball, turning around, and had he been facing the ball, could have had an opportunity to intercept that. Instead, it falls for an incomplete pass.
Roll over through the shallow receiver and under through the 2 deeper receivers. That ball ended up falling between those routes. That's what's called a flood concept. You've got a shallower route and a deeper route. You're trying to work the hole in a zone, and Roll just, again, overthrew the ball a little bit. He was trying to hit the shallow out.
Now rolling to his right. Roll, and he is destroyed by J.T. Ellis, and a flag coming down. I have no idea what that penalty is going to be, as he just pushed with his hands.
They're going to get him because he made contact to the face helmet area. And again, a lot of the rules that have changed in football over the last several years, they're all for player safety, but it makes it very, very hard on a defenders that are rushing quarterbacks and defensive backs that are trying to make plays as they're tackling wide receivers that are catching footballs. It just makes it very, very difficult. And it's an offensive game. They want offensive scoring to go up. They want to protect players, but that's a really tough call because J.T. Ellis just stormed into the backfield and made an awesome athletic play, but he made a little bit of contact to the head area of Roll, and he got flagged for it.
And a funny note, he was not expecting to play today. About an hour before kickoff, he texted one of the administrators and said, "Hey, can I play today?" And they said, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay, I'll be right there." And I don't care what the officials say. JT Ellis needs to put that one on his highlight reel. Roll moving to his right and throws up, and this one tipped in the air and incomplete.
That's unfortunate for Roll. He made a really accurate pass. He rolled out to his left and had to square his shoulders up to release the ball. Unfortunately, Christopher Kelly Davis wasn't able to reel that one in. That would have been a great gain for them.
So 2nd and 10. Senders feeling good about their 20-0 lead. They're going to try and keep that shutout. Again, Varsity's win last night, 42-0. And Nafis Matthews is not going to go anywhere around Christian Ingman.
Christian Ingman and JT Ellis both came off the edge, and they bent downhill to meet at the ball carrier and stop that for almost no gain, for a very short gain on 2nd down. So it sets up a 3rd and about 9.5 yards for the Eagles.
Sam O'Fury also in on the action to cause that short gain. We'll probably have 1 or 2 more plays, and then the FHSAA mandated water break. And Valley State with receivers trip to the left. And Roll scrambling for his life. He just puts one up and finds Ezekiel Blake, who's going to get the 1st down and into Ascender territory. Good for the 1st down.
Roll moving all within that pocket. The edges were closed up. He couldn't get outside, but he moved up, back, forward, sideways, and he kept his eyes downfield. He did a great job to find
So we will take the water break. Ascender still with a 3-score lead, 20-0. And Seth Roll showing why he is such a threat. Looked like he might have kept it himself as the pocket closed quickly, and then was able to just fire one and find number 17, Ezekiel Blake.
Ezekiel Blake took that short pass and turned it upfield and made something out of something very little. He made something great out of it to keep this drive alive. Again, anything you can get at this point to continue to build momentum and try to claw your way back in, it would be so meaningful for the Eagles to get on the board.
Now the Ascender defense, 44 yards between them and their own end zone. They will try to continue to pitch the shutout against Valley State. Seth Roll back at quarterback. Takes the snap. Rolls to his right. Pressure coming. He just throws across the middle, and looks like Christian Ingman got a hand on that one as it crossed the line of scrimmage and knocks it down.
Roll tried to do what he did on his last completion and navigate that pocket moving around, but Ingman was able to get his big mid on the ball and knock it down. Roll was not able to get that to a wide receiver.
And you see saw John Copley in on that play as well. On his K-tape on his elbows, it says 803 made from the South Carolina area code. Out of 6 foot, 218 pounds out of Camden, South Carolina. And now Nafis Matthews working his way deeper into Ascender territory. And that will move the chains.
Nafis Matthews is down. That would be a devastating blow for the Eagles if he's not able to continue playing in this game. He's been the primary ball carrier, and he's rushed for a lot of tough yards tonight, a lot of yards after contact.
And I think what we heard as soon as he was down, while they were pulling the trainers out, I heard a player yell, "Cramp!" And that looks like what they are working out for Nafis Matthews right now. Again, not the standard Florida heat that we normally have, but it is warming up from what it was when we woke up this morning, Josh. In the low 70s at sunrise, and now probably in the low 80s right now, but also fairly humid here in Bradenton. About 82, 63% humidity. But not in the 90s like we had most of the week, but still a little warm, and you definitely want to stay maybe a little overhydrated at times if you're going to be out there running and sweating.
Yeah, this is a very comfortable Florida afternoon day. One of the cooler afternoons we've had, but still in Florida with the humidity, it's important to stay hydrated, and Matthews has carried the ball several times tonight.
And the snap, they'll try to run straight up the gut. I believe that was Rashard Hickman coming on as the Nafis Matthews cramps cause him to take the sideline. 4 minutes and 30 seconds and counting in the third quarter. Roll looking across the middle. He has a man. It is Jalen Zulo. And a flag on the play as well.
Roll did a good job to find Zolo on that play. He was able to pull up. He was rolling to his right. He pulled up, stopped his momentum, kind of threw it back to Zolo, and Zolo was able to break back to the outside after the catch and advance it all the way for the first down.
And it's, in fact, a hold. And the hold is going to be against Valley State, so that will move them back. So as they get positive yards again, it is those little mental mistakes that's costing them to go in the wrong direction. So 2nd and 12 from the IMG 32-yard line. Roll takes the snap and is quickly to his left, tries to get around John Copley. He's able to evade and then finds Blake on the adjustment. Blake cutting upfield and then throws his shoulder down into the Ascender red zone.
That was a very athletic play by Roll, rolling to his left as a right-handed quarterback, and he was dead to rights. I thought Copley was going to have him all wrapped up. Somehow Roll was able to rip out of Copley's grasp and then dump that ball off to Blake, who made an athletic play of his own to tightrope the sideline and advance that. So a great play for the Eagles, and they are starting to build some momentum on this drive, and they're in a great scoring position here.
Now the snap. Roll goes right up the middle with the handoff to Leonard Anderson.
Anderson was stuffed for a very short gain there. JT Ellison on the stop.
So 2nd and 8. 15 yards away from getting their first points of the game. As we've seen, though, sometimes this is where the Ascender defense shines when they've got their backs up against their own end zone. Roll to his right and into the end zone and just in and out of the hands. That's going to be one number 34. Valley State is going to want back. We do not have him on the rosters provided to us, but ouch.
Yeah, Roll made a very accurate pass. One of the nicest passes he's thrown tonight. As he rolled to his right, he throws that deep out, and it hit number 30 right in the hands. Now, Zoccolo came across and went to strip the arms of the receiver right as the ball was making contact with his hands. So I'm going to have to give Pete Zoccolo an assist for that pass breakup because he got there right on time, but that's one that 30 would love to have back, and Roll made a great play. Very accurate pass.
Now up the middle, staying on his feet, and then finally stood up. Few ascenders there. Desmond Ricks, Leo Martinez, and John Copley. Also looked like Sam LaFury might have been there as well, so that'll bring up 4th and 1. This is definitely 4-down territory if you're Valley State.
No question. And they've already gone for a 4th down earlier in this game that they did not get, which was a turnover on downs. So
to his right, Roll is sacked from behind. JT Ellis this time stays away from the face and tears him down. JT Ellis, again, didn't even know he was playing this morning. Sent a text message to a coach to ask if he could play. And there he is getting what should be his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Yeah, JT Ellis was in the backfield in a shot. He was back there in a hurry, and he was flying as he chased Roll down from the backside. And Roll's lucky he didn't fumble that ball because Ellis came across with the club rip from behind, and a lot of times quarterbacks will fumble the ball on that. So it was lucky that he was able to hold on to it. But the Ascenders take over on downs anyway, and so they've got a 1st and 10 heading out from about their own 16-yard line.
Arnaud with the snap. Running straight up the middle for the Ascenders. And it is Xavier Terrell. Probably the last couple of plays to end the 3rd quarter, and we'll move to the 4th. So 2nd and 6 from their own 21-yard line. Arnaud, 2 receivers to each side. And Arnaud fakes the wheel route. He's going to keep it himself. Great blocking help as he gets the edge and then finally steps out at the 37-yard line. Looked like that may have been a little wheel route intended for Taylor Evans, but Arnaud decides to keep it himself, and it pays off.
Taylor Evans came across in motion. He looped into the backfield. They were trying to hit him on a little swing route, but the Eagles defense did a great job of flowing with Evans on that play. They had it covered, so Arnaud had to tuck it down and try to make something out of nothing. He was able to escape the rush, bust outside the pocket, and get all the way for the 1st down.
From their own 37 now, Anthony Arnaud, and he is hit hard in the backfield, and that is going to almost be a scoop and score for DeQuavius Huddleston, but he is tripped up. And Arnaud was absolutely just destroyed in the backfield by Alex Augustine.
Augustine did exactly what I said that Ellis tried to do. He got that club rip move, and Arnaud's arm was on the way back. He clubbed the ball out. Arnaud never had a chance on that one. The ball hit the turf in a very, very athletic scoop and score attempt by DeQuavius Huddleston. Huddleston has been all over the field tonight.
And he's going to look at that one and feel like Daniel Jones of the New York Giants.
Daniel Jones broke the long run a couple of weeks ago and was completely in the clear and got tripped up on his own feet.
And JT Ellis again into the backfield with the tackle for loss, absolutely shredding Nafis Matthews.
It's good to see Matthews back on the field. I guess it was cramps, and he was able to get to the sideline and get some more fluid in him. He's back out on the field. Once that starts, though, sometimes they're going to come back. So it's something Matthews has to watch.
So 2nd and 11, JT Ellis with 2 straight tackles for loss, one of which was a sack that ended the last drive on a 4th and 1. So Roll and Matthews in the backfield. Roll steps up, and this one is deflected in the air. And quickly, again, JT Ellis, Christian Ingman, and John Copley all causing havoc in the backfield. Incomplete. We'll bring up 3rd and 11 with 17.8 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
The penetration of that Ascenders defense is really causing the Eagles a lot of problems. Seth Roll's only 5'8", 155 pounds, and all three of those defenders are over 6 foot and had their extended long arms right in his face.
Again, Colton Richards going out on the first play of the game. This was probably not the game plan Valley State intended to play, and now Copley right off the edge, and he is going to be brought down. John Copley again right in the backfield is able to bring down Seth Roll. And that will be the last play of the third quarter. After 36 minutes of play, the Ascenders lead 20-0 over the Valley State Eagles. This is Ascender Football on IMG Academy TV. Welcome back, IMG Academy Stadium. Fourth quarter action. We will switch sides as Valley State on 4th and 22 is probably going to go for it. Want to thank our sponsors, Gatorade, Under Armour, and Zenith for their continued support of IMG Academy Athletics. Gatorade keeping our players well hydrated, Under Armour keeping them well dressed, Zenith keeping them well protected. 4th and 22, 4th and goal. Roll coming. Copley blocked in the back, and this one across the middle to Blake, who's going to get into the end zone. Touchdown! A 4th down conversion for Valley State, and rightfully celebrating. They'll get in and add their first points of the game. It comes on the first play of the fourth quarter.
Well, Roll continues to use his athleticism to buy himself time in the pocket. Copley came off the edge again, and Roll could not get outside. He had to step up and dance around and do everything he could just to get the ball off, but he made a very accurate throw to Blake, who was able to take it in for the touchdown. And it's good to see Valley State this fired up at this point in the game. Down as many scores as they are, you could see them with their head down. You could see kind of a lack of fight, but that's not what they're showing at this point. So for them to get on the board at this point, maybe their defense is going to be able to come out and somehow get them a turnover and get them another opportunity. But signs of life for the Valley State Eagles at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
With 11:39 remaining in the game, Valley State gets on the board. It's 20-7, and we'll see if they just try to trust their defense or if they try and do something fishy on this ensuing kickoff. Don't forget, you can get all your official IMG Academy gear. Go to www.shopimg.com, your official IMG Academy online retailer. Also, thanks for socializing with us on all platforms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Follow along at IMG Academy. And for the football team, use the hashtag Brotherhood. Right now, Coach George Hegeman looking for his second win on the season for the post-grad program. The third win of the weekend for all IMG Ascender programs. And this leg will boot. Fielded at the 2. Julian Taylor with a chance for another good return. Had an 85-yarder called back on penalties. He's able to shred one tackler. And finally brought down at the 21-yard line. So the Ascenders will try to add some more points. And also on this drive, the key is going to be to eat up the clock here in the fourth quarter.
Taylor reversed his field, bounced all the way back across the formation, but the Eagles coverage unit was able to pursue and close down on him before he could get vertical and actually get some serious yardage out of that. So a lot of effort, but leaves them with about first down at their own 21-yard line heading out.
Day Hooper. Takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself. Rolls to his right. With the stiff arm, he's able to get up past the 21, but he runs out of bounds. They should give him the 22-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd and long.
Day Hooper was able to get outside the edge contain. Every defense always has a contain person, somebody that's supposed to keep the quarterback in the pocket. So when that happens, somebody lost contain, and Day Hooper was able to break that with his speed.
Hooper takes the shotgun snap. Has Paris in the flat. Looking deep now. Nice, easy pass for Taylor Evans. Nice adjustment. Evans was covered in man and then just broke up field. Breaks the coverage of the defender. Wide open, gets out for the first down for IMG.
As Hooper broke the pocket, it forced the defender who was in the flat to have to make a choice, and he came up to try to prevent Hooper from running the ball, and that's when Taylor Evans was able to break free. He just converted his route and went deep, and Hooper was able to find him for the first down.
Now the snap gets back to Hooper. Looking across the middle. He's got some time and just quickly tries to get it to Davis Hawkins, who is unable to reel that inbounds. It'll be incomplete.
Hooper's using his athleticism to extend plays and give himself an opportunity to complete these passes. Narrowly missed there. Davis Hawkins had the ball in his hands with he was trying to tightrope the sideline and had to second catch it, stepped out.
Now Hooper takes the snap, steps back, and this one is intercepted. It was intended for Dorian Paris. And what a momentum shift for Valley State. Intercepted by Jack Pirot out of Apopka High School. And there is a flag. We'll see what the call is.
That was a great play by Jack Pirot. He saw the screen attempt. He sat under it, and he was able to steal it, kind of hiding in the weeds. Hooper gave that ball up, and he was able to advance it. So now definite signs of life for the Eagles at this point. Down only 20-7. There's a lot of time left here in the fourth quarter, and they've got the ball inside the Ascender 20-yard line. In fact, there's a penalty. It's going to go even further. It's going to be inside the 10-yard line, so they are in scoring position. And with a touchdown here, they can make this a one-possession football game.
And I mentioned that Perot out of Apopka High School. Some notable NFL players to come from there. Brandon Merriweather, former Miami Hurricane, and now Nafis Matthews trying to break into the end zone. He does. And they're going to be back within one score. Valley State gets 6 back.
Nafis Matthews coming back from those cramps that he had earlier in this half. looking great on that run. He was able to bounce it to the outside and rip through an arm tackle to punch it all the way into the end zone. So now the Eagles are down. They're down 7 points at this point. With the extra point, they can take it to 6.
And now the post-grad team probably having some flashbacks from that North Palm Beach prep game that saw them lose by 1 on the very last drive of the game. Snap is back, the hold is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So, with 10:15 remaining, 20-14 is the Ascender lead. And just one last note about the players that went to Apopka High School. A guy that people in the Tampa Bay area are very familiar with, also has a gold jacket from Canton in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Warren Sapp, I'm sure some of you may have heard of. So great defensive prowess from the Apopka area.
The Apopka Blue Darters. A lot of talent, very athletic teams. They consistently put out contenders year after year. A lot of great athletes have gone to Apopka High School.
And Nafis Matthews, one of the non-Florida players on the roster, going to Westside High School in Newark, New Jersey. Now a one-score game. It's 20-0 at one point, and just like that, it's 20-14. Taylor Evans will field this at the 10 and quickly cut down after a 12-yard gain. It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 22.
You can tell a complete change in the demeanor of the Valley State Eagles right now. Football games have very tangible momentum swings, and the Eagles are fired up right now. They've fought their way all the way back into this game, and they've got an opportunity now to go out and try to get a stop. I expect their defense to be very aggressive here.
Day Hooper will try to bounce back from that interception he threw that set up that last score. And a little miscommunication there. Hooper went to hand the ball off to Dorian Paris, and he is brought down in the backfield.
Number 18, Leonard Anderson, coming off the edge to get that sack. Hooper expected to have Paris right next to him. He didn't, and he had to tuck the ball and try to run it himself, and was able to be run down from behind.
Now Hooper with Paris on his left hip. 9:25 and counting. They'll go back to the air. Huddleston bringing pressure. Hooper looking deep downfield and trying to keep it himself. He'll try to get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll only gain about a yard on the play.
That was good coverage by the Eagles secondary. Hooper bought a whole lot of time, so the secondary had to cover for more than 10 seconds, but nobody was able to break free. Hooper finally just decided to run it and try to get some yardage out of it, and we've got a 3rd and 12 setting up for the Ascenders.
Julian Taylor in the backfield with Dorian Paris and quarterback Dayon Hooper. Now the snap. Hooper's going to keep it himself, trying to get that right edge, and he is stopped.
A conservative play call on 3rd and long. Hooper kept the ball, and so now It looks like the Ascenders are going to bring out the punt unit. It would be very risky to try to go for it on 4th down. So this Ascender punt unit has to hold the line and get off a good punt and cover well. Barring some type of a mishap, the Eagles should be set up with great field position to try to come down and either tie or take the lead in this game. The Ascenders have really controlled this game from the outset, and this is the first time that there's been this kind of pressure on them.
I believe that is number 35 for the Ascenders, Gavin Gundiker.
Gundiker was able to punt the ball so close to the sideline that no return is allowed. It bounces out.
So we've seen the Ascender defense stay strong when there hasn't been less than a 20-yard field. It's when they've gotten into the red zone that they've had some troubles. So with a somewhat longer field here, it'll be 1st and 10 from the Eagles' 46-yard line. And we'll see if they can, again, hopefully force a 3 and out. We'll have one more hydration break. And hopefully the Ascenders offense can get back on the field one more time and put this game out of reach. Now roll with the hand. They'll try and go straight up the middle. They'll get into Ascender territory down to the IMG 47. Bring up 2nd and about 5.
Rashard Hickman from Evans High School with that solid gain on 1st down. Barreled straight downhill.
In between the Central Florida and South Florida areas, that one will be close to a 1st down. Just the amount of talent that comes out of the state of Florida alone.
Third and a yard for the Eagles. The whole playbook is really open to them at this point. Roll has proven to be nifty in the pocket, moving around, evading the rush.
And it is Rashard Hickman on the left hip of Seth Roll. They'll run that jet sweep. And it will be shut down. And we saw, again, Hickman there trying to provide some coverage. You mentioned Evans High School, also a talent factory. Daryl Dawkins, former NBA player. Also Tony McCoy, Leon Searcy.
4th down and 1.
This is really the game right here for Valley State. If they can keep the drive alive, they can run down the clock and try and punch it in. But if they turn the ball over on downs here, it would be very costly. And now a false start, so 4th and 1 is going to push them back to midfield. It's going to be 4th and 6.
A very costly penalty at this point in the game. Ryan, like you said, the tension was high. This was potentially the game in that play. Getting the 1st down is so important here, and you don't want to back yourself up. So now it still looks like the Eagles are going to go for it. They've just got a tougher task ahead, 6 yards instead of 1.
And we saw them convert the last time they had 4th and long. It was 4th and goal from the 22, and they were able to get into the end zone. And now the officials are going to have a quick conference. And then one last notable alum from the same school as Rashard Hickman, R&B singer-producer Brian McKnight. And if you were the Ascenders right now, you would hope that you would start back at 1, as they did have the lead in the 1st quarter and the 2nd and the 3rd quarter, and still here into the 4th. But a much smaller lead than they had just 2 drives ago.
number 75, Demario Grant, had to come out of the game. So there's been a substitution made here for the Eagles for this all-important 4th down.
And another penalty. And another false start. Will bring them back into their own territory. Ouch.
And now it looks like they're going to bring the punter out. So those 2 consecutive false start penalties took them from a 4th and 1 to a 4th and 11. Changed the entire complexion of what they could do in that situation. So now they're going to bring their punt unit out, and they're going to try to pin IMG back.
And got to be feeling good about how their defense has showed out. And this one will go out of bounds. We'll see where the official gets the spot. It'll be at the 20-yard line.
Joe Kachenik from Lake Howell High School punted the ball, put it in a position where couldn't be returned by IMG.
You also see the head coach for the national team roving the sideline, Coach Bobby Acosta, instituting the hashtag brotherhood as the theme for the 2020 year. And doesn't matter if you're on the post-grad team, the varsity team, or the national team, all of these guys have found a brotherhood in the way they have become teammates and formed in a short amount of time. For some of them, just transferring in for their senior season. Doesn't matter who you are. If you wear these colors and this logo, you are a part of a family here in IMG Academy. Anthony Arnaud, 1st and 10 from their own 20. He's able to shake one, but wrapped up.
Arnaud is taken down in the backfield by...
And it's Huddleston again, I believe.
Number 25, Keyshawn Burrows from Lake Howell High School was able to get the penetration and sack Arnaud. So this D-line has been able to get some pressure on Arnaud tonight and get to him several times. This is an all-important drive for the Ascenders. They want to eat up as much clock as they can, but they also need to be aggressive. They don't want to just sit on the ball. They've only got a 6-point lead.
And Arnaud will roll to his right and just bail out.
Pressure was in his face. The receivers were covered. Arnaud just got rid of it, threw it out of bounds as to not take the sack. So 3rd and 15 for the Ascenders, backed up deep in their own territory.
So Arnaud, now 3rd and 15. Has time to throw, looking across the middle end. A flag coming in late actually hits number 22, Xavier Jones, with the penalty. And it looks like Nathaniel Castro got spun around. And it is a defensive pass interference, and that will be a 1st down on the 15 yards.
This is a pass interference penalty against Valley State.
And that one will hurt.
It definitely hurts. I don't like that penalty for a number of reasons. That ball was not accurately thrown, and the contact on the receiver had no impact on the ball being caught or not. It was not going to be caught regardless, but the official threw the flag, so tough break for the Eagles, and it moves the Ascenders forward. So they've got a 1st down, and the Eagles defense is going to have to rise up again and get a stop here. Only 3:42 left in the game, a couple of 1st downs for the Ascenders, and they may be able to run this thing out.
Now Taylor in motion. Shoulder fake to Taylor, looking deep for Malachi Matthews. He has him in stride to the 30. He drags the defender down to the 22. What a play on 1st and 10, and deep into Eagle territory. First down, Ascenders.
A beautiful throw by Arnaud. He throws it back across the field to his left. The ball was in the air a long time, and he dropped it in a perfect dime to Matthews. Matthew runs under it and makes the catch. That's the second time those two have hooked up for a huge pass play today, and just a beautiful throw at a pivotal time in the game.
So from the Eagle 22, 1st and 10, clock. Now the other opponent of Valley State. Taylor back in motion. Play action. Looks like they'll hand it to Paris right up the middle, and he will be stuffed. And now for Valley State, they'll have to think about using their timeouts. They'll probably wait to see what this second down play brings. And at this point, if IMG can stay here, we saw Gavin Marshall attempt the 58-yarder and fall just short, but this is well within his range. Might not need it. Taylor Evans at the 10, tries to jump over one. Going for the hurdle. He'll get enough for the first down, and they're going to say he was brought down in bounds.
Arnaud with another accurate pass to Evans. He throws the curl route, puts it right on Evans' outside shoulder, and then Evans doing the rest as he goes to the air to ensure that he's going to get that first down and stays in bounds, so the clock continues to run.
2 minutes and 15 seconds and still counting. Taylor and Paris in the backfield. Low snap to Arnaud, the hand to Paris. He runs over the right edge, gets up to the 5, brought down inside to the 3, and another late flag comes out.
Shifty running by Paris. Looked like he was going to be bottled up inside, but he was able to bounce that play back to the outside and then gets dragged down just before he crosses the goal line.
And now this is an interesting penalty because if you decline it, it's second down and goal and you give your defense a chance, but now it's first and goal from the 18, but that extra play just bleeding. 30 seconds off the clock for IMG Academy and Valley State. Arnaud trying to get him on the hard count. Matthews and Evans to that far side. And then Castro to the near side. Arnaud will keep it himself. Eats about 5 seconds off the clock. We're down to 90 seconds to the conclusion of this game. And after a strong first half, third quarter early score just kind of settling things down for the offense, but should be enough if they can avoid a turnover on these final few plays.
Time just continues to tick off the clock.
And now we will see Valley State, after letting 25 seconds or so roll off the time clock, now they'll take a timeout. They had all 3 for the second half, so hopefully those 20 seconds don't burn them.
Yeah, they definitely should have taken that timeout a lot earlier and preserved those 20-plus seconds that continued to run off the clock. You know, if Valley State's not able to come back and win this football game, I think they're really going to kick themselves for that 4th down and 1 opportunity when they got 2 consecutive false start penalties and backed themselves up, and then they decided to punt it back to the Ascenders, and the Ascenders have not given the ball back. Games are never decided on one play because there's so many plays that could have gone one way or the other throughout the course of a game. But where the game was at that point in time, with Valley State having so much momentum, the Ascenders were really reeling at that point, and for Valley State to shoot themselves in the foot like that, back themselves up, and then have to punt the ball away, the game was pretty much decided at that point because the Ascenders have just pounced on that opportunity, and they have not given the ball back, and they are trying to punch it in to go ahead and finish this thing off.
1 minute, 4 seconds remain. Arnaud, Taylor, And Paris in the backfield. Arnaud takes the snap, the hand to Paris right up the middle. He's got space at the 5, shreds a tackler, and into the end zone to put the game away for the Ascenders. Dorian Paris from 14 yards out on 2nd and goal gets into the end zone for the touchdown.
The only advantage, I guess, at that point is to say, hey, if they're going to score anyway, let them score now so that we get the ball back. If there's any way that Valley State could drive down and score, then they could potentially onside kick it, recover it, and try to throw a Hail Mary or something like that at the end of the game to try to tie it or take the lead back. But the Ascenders are going to go for 2 points here to try to extend this lead to make it nearly mathematically impossible for the Eagles to climb back in.
Either way, it's going to take 2 touchdowns. If Valley State were to score and get a 2-point conversion, they'd still trail by 4.
Yeah, it's a 2-touchdown game no matter how you spin it.
And the delay of game, they'll take it and move back. Something you sometimes see at the college level where you like to get a little more room than being 3 yards to the end zone if you're going to go for a 2-point conversion. We'll see if that was the strategy for head coach George Hegman and this post-grad Ascenders team. The snap to Arnaud, play action to Paris, rolling to his left, firing into the end zone and just outside of the outstretched arm of Julian Taylor. No good, 26-14, 1 minute and 1 second remaining.
Big number 88, Alex Augustine, 6'4", 240, was putting pressure on Arnaud. Arnaud couldn't get his hips square as he tried to release that ball. He did have Paris open in the flat there, just overshot him a little bit. But the Ascenders still have this 2-touchdown lead with just a minute left on the clock. It's going to be a tall task for the Eagles.
They're going to need a big special teams play and then an onside kick if they can find that magic in their back pocket. You can hear the Halloween theme music. Happy Halloween from all of us here at IMG Academy and IMG Academy TV. Be safe and socially distant if you do decide to trick or treat. And if it's Halloween, odds are you'll probably have your mask on regardless. And we're sorry we couldn't fit a little more Halloween-themed puns in for you today, as this game has not been much of a thriller. As right now, the Ascenders looking to, again, get the 3rd victory in program for the program this weekend alone. At 7 o'clock last night, and that is not the return that is going to benefit them. But with the varsity team winning 42-0 over Lake Placid, the national team taking on number 6 Miami Northwestern in the country. They were number 2 in the state of Florida. They beat them 49-14. And right now, 26 points for the post-grad team. They have outscored opponents in the last 20 hours. Again, 7 o'clock, we had 2 kickoffs last night. So since that time, 117-28. The Ascenders have outscored their 3 opponents in Valley State, Miami Northwestern, and Lake Placid. I don't think there's a whole lot of programs can boast that.
It's been a great weekend for IMG football. Clearly their coaching staff did a good job getting all 3 of these teams ready to play, and they came out and executed.
And the downed player for Valley State, Keyshawn Burrows out of Lake Howell. A well-represented Lake Howell High School on this Valley State Eagle program. 51.5 seconds remaining. Nafis Matthews And Seth Roll takes the snap, rolls to his right. And his knee will go down after the catch. Still great coverage by Logan Aiello. Also there.
The IMG defense is backed off here. They're in a prevent style defense.
And quickly back to the line. Again, Liam McCormick was also there, and now a timeout will be taken with 25.4 seconds remaining.
IMG will give up those short passes, especially if they're going to stay in bounds in this situation.
So one more timeout. First and 10. Ball spotted at the Eagle 40. And the pass complete. Jalen Zulo.
Zulu was able to get out of bounds.
47 still knocking on the door of IMG territory, but they're going to need to score very quickly if they want any chance of trying to pull this upset. Now the snap, roll coming, Copley off the edge, and just a quick little jump pass, and Liam McCormick with a heads-up play to get a fingertip on that. That could have broken for a big play, and McCormick says no.
Roll was trying to dump the ball over the line to Nafis Matthews on a middle screen, but McCormick was able to get his mitt on the ball and knock it down, so it's just going to set up a third down. Not a lot of time ran off the clock on that play.
About 4 seconds, but if you're Valley State, that's 4 seconds too many. 17 seconds remain. Third down, 3 yards to go. And this secondary for the post-grad program as this one goes off the hand of Ezekiel Blake, and Pete Zaccolo maybe about 2 steps away from diving and picking that one off.
Pete Zaccolo has been tested tonight, and he has answered the bell every time they've gone after him. He had back-to-back interceptions. Only one of them counted at the end of the first half, but Zaccolo has been great in that cover 2 shell throughout this game.
McCormick giving pressure, and this one will be intercepted. It is Logan Aiello, and he is cut down on a low hit. He gets the interception that will all but certainly end the game, but he took a nasty hit on his knee, but the Valley State guys are there to either apologize or see if he's okay.
Aiello made a beautiful drop. He dropped into that curl to flat area, and Roll did not see him. And Aiello was able to catch that ball and advance it back. Unfortunately, he didn't see the Eagle fly in to cut him down. Hopefully he's okay. He's walking off the field under his own power. That was a great defensive play by him, and it certainly is going to seal the victory here for the Ascenders. They're going to march their offense out to kneel on it one last time.
And a shout out to Logan Aiello's grandma Doris, who is watching from home. Unable to make it to the game, but watching the Facebook live stream. She had to be happy with that last interception by her grandson, Logan Aiello, and that will conclude the 3-win weekend for IMG Academy. The post-grad Ascenders win 26-14 over the Valley State post-grad team, the Eagles. 26-14 your final score. Again, a quick start for the Ascenders, and then just kind of stalled out in the third quarter, but they were able to kind of rally back, and after they gave up those 2 quick scores, just kind of flex that IMG muscle and put this game away late.
Yeah, we saw a lot of different things today. There was ebb and flows to this game. IMG dominated for the first 2 3/4 quarters, but then the Eagles were able to finally get on the board right at the beginning of the fourth quarter. They were able to get a turnover and score again, and it seemed like all the momentum was in their favor, but IMG was able to finish off. Arnaud made a couple of great throws to Malachi Matthews. Hooper ran around, showed his athleticism, and then there was just a bunch of great play on both sides. But IMG, PG team, gets another victory here in their inaugural season. It's a great weekend for IMG football.
That will do it for us here in Bradenton. Stay tuned to the IMG Academy social media platforms for when our next broadcast will be for either varsity post-grad or for the national team. There are still some games trying to make it onto the schedule, so we will have those for you here if they are at home. Thanks again. Your final score 26-14 for everyone here at IMG Academy and IMG Academy TV. My name is Ryan Sudol. That's my broadcast partner, Josh Phillips. So long from the Suncoast.